Welcome to Sportpen.
Hello.
Today we're diving deep into the world of a true footballing revolutionary, Johan Cruyff.
Absolutely. A fascinating figure.
We're not just looking at the goals and trophies, though. We want to explore, those moments that defined him, his sheer determination, and how his way of playing really changed the game itself.
Yeah, the aim is to figure out what makes someone like Cruyff a legend. How did these icons actually rewrite sports history?
Exactly. We've looked at quite a range of stuff, fan chats about Ajax, articles, even bits from his autobiography.
But we're not going to bore you with constant source checking. We'll pull out the really interesting bits, the stuff that maybe surprises you about his impact.
Right. So let's start at the beginning. Amsterdam.
Yes. Born in 1947, just after the war. And interestingly, he mentioned being taught early on, not just to accept everything handed down.
That fits, doesn't it? That independent streak.
Definitely. And he grew up literally minutes away from the Ajax Stadium, De Meer, on Akkerstraat. Football was right there.
You can just picture it. Living so close, the stadium must have felt like, part of the neighborhood.
And his dad was a huge football fan, loved Ajax. Johan and his brother Henny were always playing. He really admired Fijs Wilkes back then, another skillful Dutch player.
Sounds like a supportive, if modest, upbringing. But then his father passed away quite young.
Yeah, Johan was only 12. That was obviously a massive blow.
Mm-hmm.
It seems football became even more important than a focus, maybe even a refuge.
And he wasn't just playing in organized teams, right?
Yeah.
The stories about street football are legendary.
Oh, yeah. Using lampposts, curbs, whatever was around.
Yeah.
Apparently spent all his free time down at the Ajax ground, always with the ball. That total immersion, you see it in the greats.
That dedication clearly fed into his playing style, which became synonymous with...
Total football.
Right. Explain that a bit. It wasn't just chaos, was it?
Not at all. It was incredibly fluid, yes, but highly disciplined. Players swapping positions constantly, but the team's overall shape and structure remained intact. Everyone had to understand the system.
And the coach, Rinus Michels, was key to implementing this at Ajax.
Absolutely. Michels was the architect, you could say. But Cruyff was the conductor on the pitch. He made it work, interpreted it in real time.
It all seemed to hinge on space, didn't it? Creating it, using it.
Precisely. Barry Holshoff, one of the Ajax defenders, talked about how they were constantly discussing it, where to run, where not to run, how to open things up. He called it architecture on the field.
Architecture on the field. I like that.
Yeah, it was about rapid ball movement, intelligent positioning, perfect timing, understanding the geometry, the triangles, the diamonds that kept shifting. Cruyff was a master at seeing those patterns.
And amidst all this complex system, you have this moment of individual brilliance, the Cruyff turn. So simple, yet so effective.
Deceptively simple. He himself said it wasn't for show. It was just the easiest, quickest way to beat his man. That feint, the drag back behind the standing leg, the 180 turn, and boom, he was gone.
Oh, Jan Olsen, the Swedish defender at the '74 World Cup.
He famously said he thought he had him. Then suddenly, nothing. No chance. But he wasn't even mad, just recognized the genius of it. It created space instantly. A tactical solution, really.
And Cruyff always stressed enjoying the game, didn't he? Not just treating it like a job.
Yeah, that joy, that freedom in his play. It was palpable. Which brings us to some of his biggest moments.
Okay, Ajax first. That early success was just staggering.
It really was. Multiple Dutch league titles, cups. But the big one was the 3 consecutive European Cups, 71, 72, 73, unheard of.
That team didn't just win. They showed a different way to play football. Cruyff dictating everything. It was revolutionary.
Like a conductor, as we said, improvising within that structure.
Then came the huge move, Barcelona in 1973, world record fee at the time.
And reuniting with Rinus Michels, a massive statement.
And the impact was instant, wasn't it?
Immediate. He played as a sort of false nine, scored 16 goals, and bang, Barcelona won La Liga for the first time in 14 years. Had a second Ballon d'Or that year, too.
But more than just the title, there was that game, the 5-0 against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu.
Oh, iconic. Absolutely iconic. Cruyff was just masterful. That win became this huge symbol for Barcelona, for Catalonia even. His influence was transformative.
And then the 1974 World Cup, that Dutch team. Mesmerizing.
Total football on the world stage. The start of the final against West Germany, they kicked off, kept the ball, something like 15 passes.
Before Cruyff won the penalty, the Germans hadn't even touched it.
An incredible statement of intent. Pure total football.
But it ended in heartbreak, didn't it? They lost the final.
They did, and Bertie Vogts did a real man-marking job on Cruyff in that second half, really stifled him.
Even off the pitch, he wasn't afraid to push boundaries, was he? Demanding payment for playing for the national team.
Yeah, questioning the Dutch FA, always that independent streak, challenging the way things were done.
Then he had that spell in the U.S., in the NASL. What did you make of that?
It was interesting. He saw it was different from Europe, maybe less rooted in the local community, but he definitely saw its potential for growth. He had a sharp eye for the bigger picture.
He even talked about a game against Liverpool, highlighting Ajax's technical edge, always analyzing, always thinking about the game.
Absolutely. Deep understanding of tactics, styles, everything.
Okay, let's talk about the number 14. It's just his number, isn't it?
It really is. And the story is quite mundane, almost accidental. A teammate couldn't find his shirt before a game.
So Cruyff gave him his number 9 and just grabbed 14 from the pile.
Pretty much. They won, and he suggested they stick with those numbers. Maybe a little dig at the rigid FA rules back then. He kept wearing it for Ajax in the Netherlands when he could. It became this symbol of him.
And speaking of symbols, naming his son Jordi, that was hugely significant in Barcelona.
Oh, massively. Jordi is the patron saint of Catalonia. Naming his son that during the Franco regime, when Catalan names and symbols were banned, it was a powerful act of defiance.
He even had to register the birth back in the Netherlands, right? Because the name wasn't allowed in Spain.
Exactly. That cemented his legendary status there. It connected his football genius to something much bigger culturally and politically.
Amazing. So player career winds down and he moves into management. Back to Ajax first.
Yes. And he was immediately successful. Great win percentage, won the Dutch Cup, the European Cup Winners' Cup, showed his tactical brain worked just as well from the dugout.
But then back to Barcelona as manager, and that's where he really built something lasting.
The Dream Team era. 8 years, multiple La Ligas, the Copa del Rey, and crucially, their first ever European Cup in '92. He laid the foundations for decades of success.
And he did it by bringing back those total football principles.
Absolutely. At both Ajax and Barça, he fundamentally changed the youth academies. He wanted players educated in his style from day one. He really shaped modern Spanish football, making it about technique and creativity.
But it wasn't just about producing players, was it? His philosophy on youth development seemed broader.
Very much so. He talked about creating better people first, then better players, understanding them as individuals. He believed in competition, learning from losing, though maybe less so in youth tournaments where results mattered more.
It sounds like a very player-centric coaching style.
Yeah, understanding the athlete's perspective, knowing yourself to coach others better, and crucially, keeping it fun. Training shouldn't be a chore.
He focused on the basics early on. Passing, positioning.
Definitely. Using small-sided games, rondos, things like that to develop technique and that spatial awareness. He wanted individual creativity, yes, but always harnessed for the team.
His autobiography, My Turn, gives more insight into his thinking, doesn't it?
It does. He talks a lot about that growth mindset, learning from mistakes, seeing them as opportunities. That started young.
And he clarifies total football again.
Yeah, emphasizes it wasn't just running, it was discipline, technique, and talent working together.
He also explains why he missed the 1978 World Cup. That kidnapping attempt? Terrifying.
Really puts things in perspective, the pressures these figures are under. Family safety came first. Understandably.
He also had thoughts on how sports and education mix in the U.S. from his NASL time.
Yeah, always observing, always thinking. He stressed collaboration, too, sharing knowledge within the team core to his whole philosophy.
It's quite revealing that he saw never managing the Dutch national team full-time as a major regret.
Shows his passion for Dutch football, wanting to shape it at the highest level.
And even after management, he stayed deeply involved.
Oh, yeah. Following his son Jordi's career, writing columns, commentary, health projects, even developing new game formats like six-a-side. He never really left football.
And he wasn't afraid to speak his mind, especially about Ajax later on.
No, definitely not. Around 2008, he was very critical of the direction Ajax and Dutch football were taking. Felt they'd lost their way, abandoned the core principles, even got involved in trying to reorganize the youth setup again.
He worried about money taking over the game.
Big time. Worried it was overshadowing technique, tactics, proper development. He always insisted you play football for the public, for the entertainment. Gotta please the fans.
And his own struggles with club politics, especially at Barcelona, taught him lessons too.
Yeah, the need for alignment between the coach and the board. Mutual respect. Not always easy, clearly.
The quotes about his impact are just incredible. Dennis Bergkamp saying he shaped the whole Dutch football culture.
And Pep Guardiola. Cruyff painted the chapel, and subsequent coaches just restore or improve it. That's about Barcelona, of course. Huge praise.
Frank Rijkaard calling him the godfather of Dutch football. Eric Cantona saying he could have been the best in any position.
Johan Laporta crediting him with starting modern Barça. Guardiola again saying he had the biggest influence, period. Player and coach.
And then there are the Cruyffians, his unique sayings.
Yes, often brilliant insights wrapped in the slightly unconventional phrasing. In un momento dado, at a given moment. Or the classic Dutch one, ieder nadeel heeft zijn voordeel. Every disadvantage has its advantage. They've become part of football language.
He even laid out his philosophy in 14 basic rules. Things like teamwork, responsibility, respect, technique, creativity.
The whole worldview, really. Applicable way beyond just football.
And the legacy of total football itself. It changed everything in the Netherlands and then took root in Spain, largely thanks to him and Michel's.
Undeniably. Its influence is still felt today in how teams try to play, how they think about space and movement.
So wrapping this up, Johan Cruyff's impact is just immense, isn't it? Player, coach, thinker.
Yeah.
He genuinely changed the game.
Yeah, absolutely did. From his style on the pitch to his ideas off it, especially at Ajax and Barcelona, a true revolutionary.
And maybe the final thought for you listening is this. Think about Cruyff's focus on always learning, try to learn something new every day, he said, that growth mindset, and how vital teamwork and collective effort were to him.
Yet those ideas, they're not just about football, are they? How could you apply that kind of thinking, constant learning, working together to whatever it is you're passionate about? Something to consider.
Thanks for listening to Sportpen.